A very warm evening to one and all present here. We hope you're doing well. Manolkar, on behalf of the GDSC team, we would like to welcome you all to the session. I'm sure all know about Google Summer of Code and are curious to know more about it. Worry not, we have just the session for you. In today's session, our speaker everything you need to know about Google Summer of Code, that is GSoC. Get into it. To talk another bonus session, don't we often wonder about our future placements? Most of us will be a part of the placement drive soon. Don't we feel to the roadmap in front of us? I know today our speakers will also shed some light on preparation tips. For this session, we have two of our seniors, Siddhant Jain and Shrinivas Patil, to give us insights into GSoC and placement preparation. Siddhant Jain, a current BE student in the ENPC department, member of GDSE 2020, he was a contributor to DBpedia in GSoC 2021. Shrinivas Patil was SESA and is currently placed in Accolite Digital as software engineer. Further ado, I would now request Srinivas to take over the session and guide us.
Okay. So, hello everyone. Am I audible? Loud and clear, please. Someone.
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, thanks. I will just share my screen. So, is my screen visible?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. So, thanks for that crisp introduction. We will get right to the point. Okay. So, first of all, hello everyone. Very good afternoon to one and all present here. Today, I am going to share my experience about placement preparation and what all things that I did that helped me to get placed in Accolite Digital and other master tutors companies. So, as introduction is done, we will just skip it. So, the main objectives of this session are that my objectives are that to give you a brief overview and head start on your preparation, so that you will learn from my experience and also to share a ton of resources procured through a lot of research. So when we are going through something like we want to study and we spend hours on multiple tabs that where should we study, we ask seniors that from what resources we should follow. So I will just make things easier for you a bit, and I will like help you in that particular thing. So whenever we attend a video or talk about, like we see a video or attend a session about placement preparation, we have always been told that uh, you should do this, you should do that, but from where we should do that, that's the missing part we I've always seen in all the sessions. So today's session will be resource packed, and when I was thinking of how should I divide this talk and what should, like in my opinion, what will be the pillars of placement preparation. So these were something that I noted down, was that problem solving, your theoretical knowledge, communication, and profile building are the pillars of placement preparation, in my opinion. So let's break down one by one. So when it comes to on-campus drives, I will tell you what is the general structure when it comes to our campus drives. So it depends on companies and structure can vary, but this is the most frequent structure that we have. So the first round is an aptitude round in which you can find questions on aptitude, technical MCQs. So when it comes to technical MCQs, there are questions on theory and there are questions on finding the output of code snippets, and there are some questions on debugging the code. And then there is a basic coding round in which you can expect questions, 2 to 3 questions of easy to intermediate level. Then we have advanced coding round. So this round is for when company comes for two or three packages, and they want to just divide students across the package. So if you perform well in advanced coding round, you will be eligible for the higher package. So in that scenario, this round has questions from intermediate to hard difficulty level. Then the third round is communication round, in which we will see later what this Versant, Pearson, and group discussion are. and then we have the technical interview and the HR interview. So this is the general structure that you will see, and most of the companies follow this. So let's first start with problem solving. I just want to get one more acknowledgement. My voice is clear, right? And screen is visible.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So when it comes to problem solving, the first important aspect is aptitude. And under aptitude, you can expect questions from these domains, basically quantitative, logical reasoning, verbal reasoning, non-verbal reasoning, verbal ability, and data interpretation. So some of you must feel like what all these topics are, or some of you who are preparing for higher studies like CAT and GRE must be very well known with these topics. So you can expect like when you go for like searching which topics we should prepare for placement preparation, from various topics like time, speed, distance from quantitative, then symbols and reflections from logical reasoning, then verbal reasoning, and for verbal ability you will find other topics like grammar and passages. So and in data interpretation there will be graphs and pie charts, and from that we have to find out some answers. So these are like the common headers that we have for aptitude. Now speaking about the study resources, like how you should approach towards preparing for your aptitude, I will suggest YouTube playlists like Career Ride. So Career Ride is a YouTube channel who has made some amazing placement preparation tips videos, and also playlists for preparing aptitude. They have these two playlists named as quantitative preparation and logical reasoning preparation, in which the videos are pretty well. At first, they explain you the concepts, then they solve example questions in front of you, and you get a good idea about them. Then, if you want to go deeper in your aptitude preparation, you can. And if you are not a video person, you are more into books and textual data, then you can refer Arun Sharma books for a CAT preparation. The books are very nice, and you will find PDFs, or if you want to buy, you can buy it also. So in this book, you can find the concepts very well, and there are various shortcuts that they have mentioned for quick solving. And also, solving the basic level questions is enough from this book for placement preparation, as the level 2, level 3 questions are difficult and are for CAT preparation. So when it comes to problem solving, you must have heard multiple times that IndiaBix is like the most cliche website that everyone tells about, and it's true because whenever we used to solve questions from like for the companies, we used to face various questions, but the values were just changed from IndiaBix, and it has a very basic UI, and under which you can find for questions for all these topics. So next, then we have the face prep, and face prep also has similar sections for various topic preparation. So when you will be in the last, like the third semester, like third year's last semester, in which Ravandra sir will tell you about various mock tests, and there will be exams like CoCubes, and then Ethnos is our partner for soft skills training and aptitude preparation. So they will also have some mock tests that will help you for seeing where you are, like judging where you are lagging and which topics you should prepare for. Next, we have technical MCQs. So this is a very important thing, because many of us at first were just preparing for aptitudes, and were not aware of this particular aspect. And just now, as you guys are getting a head start on our experience, so you can prepare from now, right now. So the first thing that you can expect is code snippets. So there will be a code, like just for example, there is a demonstration of inheritance, in which they have given multiple classes, and then they have shown print class like base class and derived class, and they will ask you in options that which class will be printed first based on the code. So in that scenario, you have to show code snippet outputs. Then you will have code debugging. So they will give the code snippet and ask you where is the error and how to fix it. Then you will have DBMS MCQs on queries. So the schema will be provided, and the required data that we want to print is given. On that basis, there will be 4 options in which various queries will be there. You have to select the right query so that the required data is printed. And last, we will have theoretical MCQs on object-oriented programming, computer networks, and sometimes when the company is based off cloud and operating systems, then you will have question from OS also. So resources for this would be Geeks for Geeks, hands down the best website for all core subjects. And then for solving questions, you can use Sand Foundry, Sand Foundry has very nice topic-wise questions for all these aspects. And then you have for deeper study, you have ComSci EDU, in which you will find some quality MCQs for the preparation. Next, the most important thing when it comes to interview preparation is coding round. So the first thing that you need to decide is your main coding language. That is it C++, is it Java or Python? And out of this, when you decide, you have to like stick to it and try and solve many questions from by that particular language only. So in campus drives, you can see that you will get 2 to 3 general easy to intermediate level questions based on object-oriented programming, data structures, and algorithms. So the questions will not be like very simply described. Like they will not just say reverse a string. They will just complicate it using large paragraphs, and at the end, the main objective will be just to reverse a string. So for the just the study resources, I would share for OOP is there is a video by a YouTuber named Anuj Bhaiya, who is an ex-Amazon employee. He has made a video of Java OOP concepts in just 60 minutes. It's a very nice video, which after a lot of research, I found out that has all the concepts that are required related to object-oriented programming, all the 4 pillars that we always hear about: the encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, and then the other keywords like this and abstract for the other concept like classes and all. So this is a nice video that you can watch, and just in 60 minutes your concepts will be clear. Then for data structures, there is this course C++ placement course by Apna College. So Apna College is a sister channel of Aman Dhattarwal, on which he has made a very nice course. And the data structure section is very good because they have created animations so that you exactly understand how array is created, how a stack is created, and the whole explanation is quite good. So as we have around students from first year, also second year and third year, so this session is not like specified for a particular year. I wanted to cover a range amount of students, so that's why you can go through this course also. And for algorithms, the best, like if you know Abdul Bari sir, then you are on the right track, because his algorithms playlist on YouTube is like famous throughout the world. Everyone from international universities also recommend it, because this guy's explanation and solving is on different level. Like you understand algorithms so well, and even if you don't have the prerequisites, still he's explains in some simple way, and you get the point clear. So for when it comes to the coding rounds in companies, many of us get confused between should we do competitive programming or should we just do like structured problem solving. So in this confusion, many of us start like if you are in third year right now and you are like quite lagging in your competitive programming thing, and you don't know how to like where to start and where should I start from. So now just like starting from code chef contest and long and short contest will not be the right thing you should do, because you don't have the the right amount of time for that. Because at first competitive programming can be very frustrating, and it will also waste your time uh, till you reach that level of problem solving. Once you reach that level, then it's like you get fun out of it, and it's not frustrating anymore. So if you have less time and you just want to prepare for placements drive, these are some sheets that I have found out for structured problem solving. So why I'm just focusing on the word structured is because many of us start to solve questions based on like if we just decide that we will start from arrays today and we will solve these many questions. So what happens is we solve easy level questions like 15 to 20, and then we think that we are done with arrays now. Now we will go to next data structure. But what we have missed here is the level of questions of intermediate and hard level for that particular data structure. So these guys who are just savior, if you know them, great. So Love Bubble is also an ex Amazon employee, is currently joining one of the fan, I guess Microsoft. So he has created a sheet, DSA cracker sheet, in which you will find 450 questions, which are based on various data structures and algorithms. And he has created an Excel sheet in which it is very well specified that which question is of which level, in easy, intermediate, hard, and topics are there, and links are there, Geeks for Geeks links or Lead Code links are there. So on that basis, just a disclaimer for this problem solving, it depends on your dream company, level of preparation and time remaining. you should choose only one of these, and if you feel comfortable with it, you should continue, because all of these lists are very nicely made, and you will find like overlaps, like same things in these lists. So DSA Cracker sheet has 450 questions, and then we have Striver SD sheet with 180 questions by Raj Vikramaditya. He is a very pro competitive coder, and also because of him, many of us have started competitive programming in college, his area in on India also. He's a 6-star coder from Coursera. Then we have the HackerRank interview preparation kit. It's the same like DSA Cracker, in which there are various data structures given. But just the advantage of it is that you get a nice online compiler and a very good platform to track your progress. And then we have the most like the famous website that everyone uses for placement preparation, that is LeetCode. So when we will go on LeetCode and search for top interview questions, you will find out various questions based on difficulty and data structures. So I will suggest to use this structured problem solving method, so that your time is not wasted and you solve maximum questions for each data structure and algorithm. And on that basis, your concepts will be clear for coding rounds. Next, we have communication. So communication, in my opinion, when it comes to interviews, is like the most important thing, because even though if you have the knowledge of each and every concept pretty well, like basic concepts you have the idea about, when the interviewer will ask you to when the interviewer will ask you questions about it, and if you could not tell in like smoothly and fluently, then your knowledge is of no use, right? Because the interviewer will check, can you communicate? And also in the corporate world, we have various meetings and agile meetings, scrum meetings throughout the day. So when during those meetings, if you do not speak up or you are unable to talk fluently, then that's the issue. And some of companies like TCS and all, they have foreign clients, so your communication should be very fluent when you're talking to clients like this. So for that, generally in our college, communication round is taken in two formats. First is Versant, which is a software by Pearson, in which you will find various communication tests like listening skills. They will check your listening skills first. The instructor, like it's an automated tool, the instructor will tell you some sentences, and you have to listen it clearly and then repeat it afterwards. And then there are various other sections like listening, reading, and then summarizing. So they will tell you a paragraph and then you have to summarize it. So it's a very nice automated tool which Accenture mostly uses. Accenture is one of our mass recruiter, which this year has recruited over 100 students, and this was like a very important round that they took. Then second, like most important, frequently asked round is the group discussion round. So this round was taken by Quantify and BlueConch. We all must have heard that group discussions are like are taken by all the companies that come, but throughout now our placement session phase is going on from June, and around June I have seen only 5 to 10 companies out of so many companies that have taken GD as their round for communication. So this is very company specific and it rarely happens. So for GD I just have some few tips. Like for when it comes to topic and the instructor gives you a topic, so for that you should keep an eye on recent trends and news, and use applications like InShort, so that you have a general idea about the topic, and InShort helps you to keep up with the new news in just under 60 words. Then when you are talking in the GD of like if the topic is about education and you are talking on the positive side, so you cannot switch sides midway and talk negative about your only opinion. If you start with the positive side, you have to keep talking in that side only. Then the instructor that is taking your GD is also observing that if you are starting the discussion then if you are bringing back the diverted conversation, or if you are concluding the discussion. So these things have extra points, and it also displays your leadership skills. And also at the start, the instructor specifies what's the time limit for it. So when you are talking, keep an eye on the time limit, and if someone from your like around 10 to 15 students give group discussions together, so if someone from your batch is exceeding the time limit, you just politely tell them that we were given only 20 minutes and we have crossed it. I think we should conclude the discussion, and you should provide a conclusion. So that will also show that you are you have leadership skills, you have command on the people who are there in your batch, and also you are time like discipline about it. And yeah, so that's about it. So next, the most important thing that comes is interviews, because uh, when you clear the first round, your chances of getting placed in that company are increased by 80%, because the first round is very brutal, and the difficulty is quite high for some companies, and the companies just want to clear out all the people who are like the people who don't know about problem solving, or else who lag in coding questions. So once you get cleared, interviews are the next step that you are ready about, and the chances of your getting placed in that company increases. So preparing for interviews is very important thing. So general, then we have two interviews. So technical interview and HR interview. So general structure of a technical interview is that first the interviewer will ask you to introduce yourself. Then just a second. Huh. So the interviewer will ask you to introduce yourself. Then he will ask you to there will be a general talk between you and interviewer. He will try to comfort you, because I will tell you, you all guys will panic during interviews. However, your preparation will be, because we don't have that experience, right? So there will be a general talk for ice breaking. He will just ask how you were doing, how was your lockdown, and all type of questions. So after that, there will be questions based on your skills that you add on your resume, like web development, machine learning. Like if you have added HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then frameworks like Angular and React, then there will be questions on them. Then he will ask questions about projects, like what projects you have done, and then our core subjects like object-oriented programming, data structures, database management system, and computer networks. After that, there are few interviewers who will ask you to screen share and do live coding, in which they will ask you to choose your choice of online compiler or as offline compiler, and you have to they will give you a question like palindrome or something, and if there is a string, you have to find palindrome through it. So questions like this you can expect during this part. And then SQL queries. So SQL queries are also rarely asked, in which, but we should be prepared with it, because the interviewer will screen share and show us a database schema in which there will be various tables, and then he could ask for a particular output. So you should be able to write queries. And puzzles are something that earlier were asked in interviews, but this year also some companies like PTC, Blueconch, Quantify asked puzzles in their interviews. Like they are based on probability majorly, that if you have a bucket and in there are balls, so what will be the like probability of red balls, and puzzles like that. So just you will search puzzles for placement preparation, you will find 2 3 websites like Geeks for Geeks, and if you go through it, those puzzles will be asked in the interview, so no issues with that. So for technical interview tips and resource, I have divided it into two sections. The first section is that for your introduction, it's like the first impression that you are going to put forward for the interviewer. So write it down, because writing will make it clear like what all points you want to mention. Write it down and practice it in front of mirror multiple times, so that you get an idea where you like, because written communication is different. We write a very complex thing, and while speaking it won't be feasible. So write it down and then speak in front of mirror multiple times and improvise if needed. For skill-based questions, if you have added that I am skilled in C++, Java, and then Angular, React, then you go to the website named as Interview Bit. On Interview Bit, you will find out various skills, and then when you will click on the skills that you have mentioned on your resume, just read the frequently asked questions that are asked in interviews. So these questions are very important, because interviewers mostly ask questions from these websites only, and you will get a general idea of which topics you need to prepare. Like if I am adding Python as a skill, and when I go to interview bit and search for Python interview questions, then I will find out like which all topics, like difference between list and tuple is asked frequently. So I will be ready with it. And then when it comes to projects, mention only those projects which you are well aware of. Like there are some of the projects that we work in group, and you are working only on the front end of that project, or else on the back end of the project, or else just on the database. So mostly if you are working on a project solo, those projects would be very helpful. You can also add some team projects that will display your team building, and you are comfortable to work in a team. But mention some solo projects also, in which you should be well aware of the tech stack. Like if you tell, I have made a blood bank management system, and it is what I have used Flask and PostgreSQL. So you should be aware of questions related to Flask and PostgreSQL. Then you should be aware of the functioning of, like, you should be ready with the explanation, how your project works, what all are the functional requirements and non-functional requirements of the project. Next, some interviewers will ask you to show your code on GitHub, or else if your project is hosted. So if even though your project is not hosted, you can show your code from GitHub, and he will ask you to open folders and explain some of the code. So you should be like ready with that. And one of the most frequently asked question that I have seen when it comes to projects is that, what issues did you face while developing? So when you are developing, you just have to remember what all issues that you face. Like small issues are also there, no issue, but we have to mention it nicely during the interview, because they want to check what was your approach towards it and how did you solve it. Second thing is that theoretical knowledge of object-oriented programming, DSA, DBMS is very important, as these are the core subjects. What you can do is, I will share a sheet later in which there are important topics from these subjects, and which are very important, and questions are asked on those topics only. So you can make a checklist of it, and out of which you can just search for those topic on Geeks for Geeks and YouTube, and just once you're prepared for it, you can take it. Then you can make notes of yourself for this particular concepts. Next, when the interview will ask you, this thing is over, and schema thing is over. Okay, so this part is done. Yeah, so we come to the HR interviews. This is like the final stage. Most of the people who reach HR interviews feel like they are selected, but I have seen very tough times when some of my friends were there in the HR interview, but still got rejected because of some reason. And the purpose of this main interview, like the purpose of this HR interview, is to check your attitude, professional maturity, and communication skills. Basically, he will also ask you to introduce yourself, and if you have your strengths and weaknesses added in your introduction, then there's no issue. Or else this is like one of the frequently asked question when it comes to HR interview, like strengths. What are your strengths and weakness? So when you are mentioning your strengths, just don't brag too much. Strengths should be like where you're confident about, and in weakness you have to answer smartly, because if you answer like if you have some, you say honestly that these are my weaknesses, and if that could negative impact your performance in while working, then that can increase your chances of getting rejected. So we have to answer that very smartly. Then there is also one question that they ask is, what was your biggest achievement, or what was your toughest time, like when you were the low? How did you overcome that particular situation? Or when it comes to biggest achievement, how was it, and how did you got that achievement? So these are something that they ask. Then we have behavioral questions. For that, we have the star format. We will come later what exactly the star format is. So behavioral questions are like situational questions, in which they give you a particular situation, or like hypothetical situation or real life situation, in which they want to check what your approach will be, and how will you overcome and answer that particular question. And then there is another very important topic that corporate HR interviews are very concerned about, is resolving conflicts. So when it comes to industrial life, we have to work in teams, and sometimes there can be conflicts between you and your manager, or else your fellow teammates, or there will be conflicts between your team. Like when you are the leader there, then three of your member who are lower than your hierarchy must have some conflict. So they ask you what you will do in this situation, or what you will tell them to like resolve the conflict. Next we have the leadership experience. So this resolving conflicts and leadership experience are two things that you cannot just Google search and answer, because these HRs have taken thousands of interviews, and they know what answers are there online and what answers you can find on YouTube. These two things can only be tailor made when you have experience about them, and when you will get these experiences from extracurricular activities. Like as mentioned in my introduction, I was the head of marketing and sponsorship for Google Developer Student Club and SESA. In throughout my 2 to 3 years of extracurriculars, I had gone through so many leadership experiences and conflicts between faculties, fellow teammates, that the answers for this question were like ready for me, and I could give a real life example to them. So this is the importance of extracurriculars, and you get that exposure for these type of questions, and you also have that professional maturity. And last but not the least, the most like the important thing that the interviewer want to know is why this company. Like if Capgemini is come, they will ask, why do you want to join Capgemini? Why Capgemini? So in this, you have to just go through the website of the company in which they have mentioned their mission, objective, and also go through the job description. So while answering, you can tell them that as Capgemini's mission is this. I also believe in that, and I want to uh, work and grow in this company. And also, when I check the job description, my profile is perfectly relatable to the job description that you are given. So that's why I am choosing this company. So now coming back to the behavioral questions part, the star format is a very important thing that will make a difference. Like you can expect these questions in your technical interview also, but these questions are mainly for HR interviews. So uh, coming to the behavioral questions part, I will tell you what star exactly is. So it is an effective format to smartly answer various behavioral questions asked during interviews. So basically, the full form of star is situation, task, action, and result. So when they give you a situation, you like when they give you a behavioral question, you can ask what was the you can tell what was the situation was there and what was the event. Then you can mention what was the task involved in the above mentioned situation, and then what did you do to complete the goal, and what was the result of your actions. So this is a very effective format to answer these questions, and this is if you answer like this, that will be the difference between you and the fellow people who have applied for that company. So just to give you an example, just remember these colors, right? STR, so that you can differentiate in the answer. So if the interviewer asks you, describe a time when you were under a lot of pressure at work, how did you react? So first, in the red, we have situation. So the candidate answers like, in my previous job as an account executive, one of my coworkers quit immediately after signing the biggest client our firm had ever taken on. And then he will say that although I was already managing a full load of accounts, I was assigned this new client as well. So this was the situation that he first gave the setup to the interviewer. Then in orange we have the task. So I knew the stakes were high, and if we lost this deal, then we couldn't hit our quarterly goal. So this was his task. And after that we have the action. So what action did he do? He I made myself completely available to the client and took calls on evenings and weekends until the project was delivered. And at the end we have the result. So the client was so impressed with my dedication that they immediately signed an annual contract with our company worth INR 50 lakhs. So just think of this question and write, like, if you think of it and you answer in this way, it's so impressive, right? And you also give a clear idea to the interviewer that this was the situation, I did this was the action, and then that was the result. So this is a very nice way to specify. Also, this format you can use in your resume also to when we write under your experience and projects, you can use this format in bullet points so that you can show the impact of your project and what you did. Last, I will come to the profile building. So profile building is very important when you are applying for on-campus drives also and off-campus also. Like profile building is the most important when it comes to off-campus, because getting through that initial barrier of resume shortlisting and LinkedIn shortlisting is very difficult, because the amount of competition that you are facing is not just PCET level but a national level competition. So when it comes to campus drives, resume shortlisting is one of the things that they do. But for off-campus opportunities, they check your resume, they check your LinkedIn, they check your GitHub. Then if you are into data science, machine learning related domains, then your Kaggle should be also profile should be mentioned. And if you are into technical writing, technical content writing, then your Medium profile should also be mentioned on your portfolio. So because once the interviewer or recruiter knows that you are interested in technical writing, he or she will immediately understand that, because writers have clear thoughts, right? So they will immediately understand that you have good written communication, you can explain concepts nicely in words, and that you are proactive of writing articles on Medium. So this is a very important thing that I will suggest you would do. So out of these, I have only focused on resume and LinkedIn. I always wanted to focus on GitHub and Medium, but as you all know, we sometimes procrastinate, and later I didn't got time. Just I uploaded my projects on GitHub, but I couldn't do the Medium thing. So as this is the experience that I had, and from my mistakes you also should learn. So this is something that I will suggest you should also do. And the main thing that we need to understand about profile building is that it takes time and effort to build an ideal profile. You just cannot do it overnight and speed run, like you are just creating multiple projects and then writing various articles and just uploading it. It's a consistent effort, and you need to be actively updating on this platforms. Then another thing that you will understand while making your resume is that when during the sixth semester, when I was going to apply for internships and they asked us for resumes, I just sat down one day and decided that I will build my resume. I first saw some YouTube videos, like what all common mistakes people do in making resumes, and uh, what all is a like how is a good resume exactly made. So when I saw that, and I was just started making my resume, I found out that there are various sections that I have nothing to write about. So when it comes to education, you can write about your 10th standard, 12th standard, and your engineering graduate level education. And when it comes to your experience, if you have any internship experience, you can mention that. And if you have any good quality projects, like full stack projects or machine learning related projects, then you can add those. And then you have extracurricular activities section, in which you can mention all the activities you have done in your college. So when I was making my own resume, I found out that as I'm currently applying for internships, I don't have anything to write in my experience. Also, there were a few projects, but they were team projects, so the project section was also kind of lagging. And then only the extracurricular section was like over fulfilled. Like that's one of the thing that I was loving to do throughout my 3 to 4 years in college. So only that section was perfect, but other sections were not there. So when you will start making your resume, you will find out that where you are exactly lagging and what you want, what you need to do. I will also share with you one thing that I have forgot to mention in the presentation, is that if you want to create your like ideal resume, and if you know someone that is good in your field and is working in your dream company, search them on LinkedIn. And if you're lucky and they have mentioned their resume on their profile, just check their resume, what is the content is there, what is the layout. Don't copy it, just take inspiration from it. They take inspiration from the layout, and what all, if they have created projects like sorting, algorithm sorting visualizer, or as they are creating some management system, so you can take inspiration from that, and you can also create it, and you can create clones of the project. So that will give you an good idea like what exactly is industry fulfilled with. Then this is a very important thing that you need to do, is change your resumes for each company based on job description. Like you need to add and remove skills and projects based on the job description, because in the JD you will find various keywords. Like if a company is specifically coming for Django developer, then there is no use of mentioning, like you can mention it, but then you should change the sequencing of other skills and projects. So if you have any Python related projects in which you are using the Django framework, then you can keep those projects and skills in the priority way, in the upper way, and so that the recruiter is like they always say that the recruiter goes through a resume in 6 to 15 seconds. So it should be like, so the layout should be so clean and single page. So that's why we need to keep this thing in mind. Like we have to make tailor-made resumes for each company. And most important thing is there should be literally zero grammatical and spelling mistakes, because at first when you are applying for off-campus opportunities, there will be automated bots who will check your resume, and if they found out the grammatical and spelling mistakes, your resume will be instantly rejected. Because as recruiters will get thousands of applications, they don't have time to check each and every resume. They use these softwares. So keep just use spell checkers, and multiple times tell your friends to review your resume for spelling mistakes. And just if you want a good tool for creating a clean resume with all templates, then you can use latex templates or Novo resume. Latex can be quite intimidating at first because it has like once you explore, you will understand what I was saying. But Novo resume is very easy to use. You will find various templates. Just don't overuse the colors because they have very creative layouts sometimes, and the colors are vibrant. Use just basic colors for your resume. So if you have any doubts, you can drop it in the chat, or else you can contact me on these details. This is my mail ID. On LinkedIn, you can search me as Shrinivas Patil, and this is my contact number. So if you have any doubts, I'm ready to tell you.
Thank you, Srinivas, for sharing this wonderful insight on placement and preparation. Everyone, if you have any doubts for Srinivas, please feel free to drop them in the Q&A section. Srinivas, are you able to see the Q&A section, or should I dictate?
Yeah, I can see this. Are there any inputs in the Q&A?
No, as of now.
Okay.
So, are there any questions for Srinivas related to placement, preparation, etc.? Okay, I guess they will put them in the Q&A section.
Okay.
Please share sheet of important topic.
Yes. So at the end, what we are going to do is we are going to share a feedback form in which you need to add like how you felt about this session, and through which I will get your email IDs. And on that basis, I'm going to create a doc in which all the links for the resources that I've mentioned will be there, so that you don't get confused, and you will find those resources right away. So next is question: should there be photo added in resume? Yes, you should add your photos because there are few companies that will come and Ravandra sir will immediately tell you that you need to add your photo in the resume. That the photo should be very formal, just the headshot of your profile, and if it is there, then there's no issue. You should add your photo. So the languages, basically you need to know the data structure implementation of that, how you implement various data structures and algorithms in that language. Then you should know the object-oriented programming concepts of that language. And when it comes to data structure algorithm, I guess intermediate level is enough for campus recruitment. How much internships are important, where we should find one. So the number of internships is nothing, like that doesn't matter, but the quality of internship matters. So if you even have one quality internship, which was for around 6 to 12 weeks, or else like around 3 months to 6 months, you have one quality internship, that's enough. For finding placements, for finding internships, you can refer websites like Internshala and other websites like LinkedIn also. LinkedIn, you will find some openings there. So 1 or 2 internships is enough. More than that, you will not get time. And like if you are that productive, you can, but you will burnt out on other things. Like you need to also develop your other skills and aptitude preparation if you are going for high studies. So that load will also be there. And eventually, when you will come in third year, my friends who are there in third year, they know seminar activities, and if you are into extracurricular also, that load will also be there. So I will suggest 1 or 2 good quality internships in web development or machine learning, where there is stacks like React, Angular, Django. So that would be very helpful. So for off-campus internships, I will just suggest that go through the job description very nicely, because when you are sitting to read the job description, take a note or page and write the keywords that were mentioned in it, like the skills and the qualities that the company want. And on that basis, you make your resume for that particular company. You tailor-made your LinkedIn for that, and on that basis, you pin the required projects on your GitHub, and using that, you can apply. So that would be like some of the tips that I would have. So many of us, like recently I had a conversation with some of my friends in third year. They were telling that what is the level of knowledge that we should have for internships. So don't worry, just apply. and it's very random. Like some internships will require intermediate level knowledge, but some internships will just check your basics. So you just need to apply. Projects I will suggest based on your layout, there should be 3 to 4 max, because after that your layout will just like the one section will just get longer and the other sections will be, there will no space for it. So 3 to 4 quality projects should be there. And the projects, the main thing about projects is that they should validate and verify your skills. So if you have mentioned that you know Python and Django, then there should be a project related to Django and Python. And then if you have mentioned that you are familiar about uh, what I should say, like you are familiar with algorithms, so there should be a project related to that. And if you are familiar with machine learning, so there should be a prediction based or recommendation based system in your a project section. So on that basis, based on your skills, 3 to 4 projects very nicely done should be there. Any more questions, guys? Either I was very clear and like I cleared everything, or you guys like my thought process was not clear, conveyed properly. Because when I talk to my friends from third year, they are like constantly asking for doubts, and there are many like things I need to address. So as such, the time factor doesn't matter. If you decide and just study for like 6 to 8 hours daily, then you will complete it as fast as you can. It the time, like the months doesn't matter, but just the quality of questions and topics that you do matters. So on that basis, and main thing about DSA and problem solving is that it's not just phase effort, it's consistent effort. Like you cannot just think that when the placement preparation will come, I will just start preparing DSA 2 months earlier of companies, or I will just do 2 months DSA and then I will stop, and then I will just start working on it when placement companies will come. Just do consistent effort, solve 2 to 3 questions daily, and as I mentioned earlier, there should be structured learning and problem solving. So on that basis, you should consistently solve questions. Yeah, any tips on improving a LinkedIn profile? So LinkedIn was I took LinkedIn very seriously when I was in second year, because when I used to go through various feeds, and I used to find some profiles that were so interesting and very impressive. So my goal used to be to improve my LinkedIn the same way those guys have done. So for that, I will suggest that you first, the about section is there, okay, in which you have to mention what all skills you have, what are your qualities, and what you like, what you believe in. Then there is the title section in which you will like I will just show my LinkedIn, I guess that would be easier to explain. Rohit, just check the recording has stopped over.
No, I checked. It's there. It's recording.
Yeah. Yeah, so just a second, I will share my LinkedIn. So is my screen visible? Is it? Okay. So first of all, a very formal photo. This photo I use on my resume also. Then just a casual background, so that I'm a computer science related guy. Then there is this title that is very important when people search for you, because immediately when you search for Srinivas Patil, this my name is not enough to know exactly about me, but this title will help you to understand what I have done and what I am currently working at. Then for recruiters, this is a very important feature that you need to activate. You are open to work as intern, software engineer intern, web developer, digital marketing intern, where you will add various roles that you are ready to work in. Then in the about section you can write it in bullet format, or else just add a summary or summary type of thing, what you are interested in, what your skills are, and also what organizations you are part of. Then in the feature section you can focus on the certificates or the achievements that you want to showcase the most. So this is the feature section. After that, when it comes to experience, you can mention all your extracurricular and professional experience that you have, in which the time should be nicely uh, put forward, and like the people know which organization you were working for, when to when, and what was the area. Then for head of marketing, and then CPDC sales coordinator for PCCACL, then SD Internet URIXOF, and then sales and marketing Internet Bolt IoT. So if you have the internship certificate also, then you can upload it here. So this is how the experience section should be. Then coming to the education, you just mention all your educations like school and all, and then the certificates and license. So all the certificates that you have done should be uploaded here. And then coming to the volunteer experience, you can mention what all extracurricular and volunteer experience you have done. So conveyance volunteer at KPIT Sparkle, then TEDx PCCI, then event coordinator at Initiatives of Change. Then I was also volunteer for various placement drives in our college when college was offline. So central and training placement cell at PCT. And then you have the skills section, in which you can mention all the skills you are confident about, and just feature some of the skills that you want to showcase. And after that, when you know some people and they know how skilled you are, they can endorse you. So this Shrinivas Patil from DBpedia, he's a very famous Android developer, and he's also given recently a talk about Android in the DevFest this year. So he and I had a talk on LinkedIn long time ago, and when we were discussing, we talked about C++, and I was asking him about the LinkedIn skill badge assessment. So you can also give that exam so that you get that badge here. I didn't do that, but you can do that. So he then, after our discussion, he endorsed me for C++, and then two of my friends at PCAC. Like this just shows that people are endorsing and telling that, yeah, this guy is for that. Those, and then they will, like, when you will create your profile, right there, you should be filling something in all the sections if you have. So in the languages, you can just specify which language you are familiar about, and then provide the proficiency level. So this proficiency level will help the viewer that how much level of language you know about, and then there will come the awards. So I have third prize, second prize, first prize, all the achievements that you have. Just this is like the interesting. So this is how I will suggest for the LinkedIn part. Yeah. So there are a few questions.
Hello, Srinivas. Am I audible?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry to cut you short, but can we now move to Siddhant and we can take these questions in the end?
Okay.
How about that?
Sure. No issues.
Yeah, so now I would like to call Siddhant. Siddhant, are you here?
Yep. Hi.
Hi.
So thank you, Srinivas. Very informative talk. So firstly, is it clearly visible?
It is.
Okay. So everyone, hope everyone's doing well. So thank you for joining in. So today I'll be sharing my Google Summer of Code experience with you guys. Also, saying out Google Summer of Code every time would be a little cumbersome. So I'll stick with the abbreviation GSoC. So GSoC, yeah. So we give a introduction about me. I'm finally a student in the ENTC department. Of course, same college PCCA. I'm particularly interested in deep learning and natural language processing, slightly inclining towards research. Apart from that, I like to watch animes in the weekend. So building it towards the session. So I'm pretty sure you guys have at some point of thought of adding a certain feature to a software you have been extensively using, be it your browser, Firefox, or your VLC. Well, you let not just the libraries you use every day, give you the opportunity to add value yourself. All these different things boil down to one common word, and that is Open source is like this particular case or a particular computer software where the source code is distributed under an open source license, which basically allows the users to study, change, improve, and distribute the software. But then you should always start with this question why before taking up anything. So same goes with open source. Why open source? So as college students, a few students were asking like, how do I find an internship? Where do I find it? It actually is quite a cumbersome at initial level. So not everyone is fortunate enough to find a good internship where they can find some valuable experience. So open source contributions let you lay your hands on large code bases, where which in turn. So for working on this large scale projects, you need to interact and communicate with the mentors or the maintainers of the repositories, which in turn adds to your communication skills and soft skills. Now, these mentors are usually working professionals in big firms. So this also gives you a chance to network with working and that way. And in the end, you have satisfaction of adding value to a piece of software that is used by millions of people. So to get you started, there are a ton of open source programs, and I hope most of you have received your Hacktoberfest t-shirts. If not, don't feel sad. I too didn't receive mine yet. So Hacktoberfest is a good starting point for beginners. Also, DAC did a great job earlier this month, previous month. So there were quite a lot of contributions from you guys. So go to work with that. And then we have Major League Hacking, which offers externships, fellowships, and same goes with Outreach. Then we have Google Summer of Documents, which is intended for working professionals. Basically, is working on the documentation of open source organizations. Uh, it is means you it is recommended for working professional. And lastly, Google Summer of Code, our main topic of concern today. So GSoC is a global open organized by Google. So it basically focuses on bringing more contributors into this world of open source. So contributors work with open source organizations under the guidance of mentor while they earn a handsome stipend while working. So the program basically intends to introduce new contributors, dev. So it also gives exposure, as I mentioned earlier. The structure of program is quite well defined. So basically, open source Google for being a mentor organization, hosting project. So much Google announces organizations that have been shortlisted, and from that time onwards to roughly around mid of April, you have a proposal period wherein the idealist that each organization has, you apply for a particular idea, you give in a a document wherein you the idea of how you project, what technical complexities it has, and maybe a little of pseudocode. And then roughly around the selected students are then the coding period becomes it's roughly around 12 weeks, precisely 10 weeks are for examinations, but you can still work in this period. So my experience was pretty same as I mentioned in the timeline. I started the same time last year with my preparation and stuff. So my project was a neural QA model for DBpedia. DBpedia was the my project was slightly inclined towards research, as I mentioned in my interest. So what I did was improve the existing data set we had to work on. I worked on it by following two techniques. Firstly, the syntax aware augmentation and back translation. So, these are few jargons right now, but just bear with me. So in syntax error augmentation, what I did was using dependency parsing trees and hierarchies depths, we planned on augmenting the uh, sentences on word level. And for back translation, we trained a reverse model to generate a parallel corpus. And then I refactored the existing sequence model. Then I introduced PERT embeddings to the model and improving the architecture. And then there was this never-ending research. So the 2022 timeline is very much the same as it has been throughout the years. So you can have a look at it. So only changes this year has been in the eligibility terms. Firstly, until this year, it was only for students that have been enrolled in a college program, that is graduate, undergraduate, or PhD. But now it is open to everyone who is 18 or above. So you can try your hands on it, whether you are in college or not. And also, they have introduced two scales of projects, namely medium size projects, wherein you work only for 175 hours for the entire time. That is a part-time role for roughly 20 hours a week. And then we have a large scale project, which has a time of 300 hours for the total time. So it boils down to roughly 40 hours per week, full time. And in both these cases, surely vary as the amount of work you do also varies. So here's a little checklist I think you should follow if you want to seriously get going. Firstly, you should have a good understanding of version control, Git and GitHub. So if not, you don't have to worry about. You can have a quick look at at any YouTube video, preferably free code camp, and you're good to go with all the basic commands. Then you should have some good programming knowledge. You need not be an expert, but you should be clear with your fundamentals. So you can contribute in any language, not restricted to any particular language. You do it in Java, JavaScript, Python, Julia, anything of your choice. And then there's this debatable topic of having a Linux-based OS. So why I prefer this is Linux-based OS is using it is a win-win situation, as in for working professionals, it is quite an expected uh, thing from them. So you should have understanding of Linux-based OS, particularly Ubuntu or Arch Linux. And what it does is like let me tell you with a real life example to it. Suppose you are working on contributing to a particular library, say TensorFlow. Now you need to work on a particular issue. So firstly, what you'll have to do is uh, build the library in your local system from zero. So while building, if you face some trivial installation issues, so you will head towards the forum or the community that we have. So will first ask is show us a gist of the errors that you have been encountering. So creating a gist or developing this in a Linux environment is quite easy, but again you can still do it in Windows, but the support is quite less for so again this is not a Windows versus Linux debate, but yeah, this is my personal preference and I would strongly suggest you to have one. And then the main part, like we all know what GSoC is, how it is done, but how to actually get started. So for this, you need to have to shortlist an organization. Now, if you only want to contribute to open source Google Summer of Code, you can simply go on to GitHub and look for any repositories and maybe put in a PR. But if you are looking specifically for GSoC, so what I'll suggest is go to the GSoC archive. Yeah, it goes with the same name, GSoC archive. So what it has is a list of all the previous organizations and the projects that have been successfully completed up till this point of time. So what I'll suggest is you go through them, you have a look, and a lot of diversity in the projects. You have everything from compilers, libraries, mobile dev, machine learning, astronomy, physics, biology, you name it, you have it. So what I'll suggest is go through the projects, find the projects which interest you the most, and shortlist 2 or 3 organizations. And once you shortlist your organization, you can start contributing. So how do I contribute? So you simply go to the repository that you intend to contribute, go to the issues section. A good starting point would be so maybe start with the good first issues and focus on making quality quantity. So quantity doesn't matter, quality matters. So yeah, so keep contributing until we have GSoC 22. So yeah, if you have any specific, you can point them at me right now in the chat box, or you can on LinkedIn or Twitter or wherever you feel okay. I'll also be sharing a few resources on the server, DAC server. So if you haven't joined it, so you can join it also as well. So yeah, that was quick.
All right. Thank you, Siddhant. So if everyone feel free to post your doubts. We
Yeah,
also have
so maybe we
Srinivas
can
with
take
us.
maybe
He'll
we
be
can take a question.
yeah. Srinivas, are you here?
So
Yeah.
should I
So you
continue?
both can move forward with the Q&A section.
Okay. So like the first question that I can see here is which is the more commonly required developer tech stack specifically for PCC on-campus placement. Uh, so everyone here is from like first year, second year, third year, right? Some of you must be from final year, but I will tell you one point that there are few technologies that are famous in student community and there are few technologies that are famous and required in industries. So what currently your friends must be doing is MERN. Everyone is doing like React and everyone is working on Mongo, Express, React, and Node.js. So, but when companies come, they want Java developers, and there are a few like frameworks like Spring, Spring Boot, Hibernate. If you know what Spring Boot, Hibernate is, like just the framework name, then you are on the right track because industries are currently working in these frameworks as backend, and in front end they are working on Angular mostly or Django. So front-end frameworks like this and back-end frameworks like Spring, Hibernate are mostly used. So Java-based or Python-based frameworks. Then suggest some study material for data structure. So I will suggest that first you decide which type of format you like the most for studying the concepts. If it's video, then YouTube is the best. No need of buying any course and spending money on it. YouTube will give you the best content throughout all the mediums, and you can just search for the placement course by Apna College, and they have made a very informative animated playlist in which the data structures are shown very nicely, and you will understand those concepts very well. If you are into textual data, then Geeks for Geeks is a very nice resource where various technical content writers have made it very easier for people to understand data structures in layman terms. So for that, you can go for Geeks for Geeks. Then, yeah, these are the two formats that you can check for. Or else, if you are into structured learning, then I will suggest buying the Abdul Bari course on data structures and algorithms on Udemy. That course is worth it. So that is one of the resources that I would suggest for data structures. Then what do you suggest for DSA books or videos? So, Amay, it depends on you exactly which format you are comfortable in and which format you grasp faster. I personally like videos because in books you need next level concentration, and that when it comes to videos you get the concepts are cleared very fast, and books kind of like, in my opinion, videos I would suggest if you are comfortable with. Then what should be the targets that must be completed until end of second year? Like we must have completed. Okay, so this is a very nice question that I like, because some of the people that I have talked from TE, I tell them always that at the end of semesters we generally have 5 to 6 regrets, that if we knew this at the start of our semester, the semester would have been great and we wouldn't have wasted time. So I will just make things very easy for you. In my opinion, you should be in second year you have data structures and algorithms as a subject, and you will have object-oriented programming. So you should be very thorough with the concepts that you learn in those subjects at a university level. Then there will be assignments for those subjects. You should do those assignments on your own for clear understanding. And uh, we- and starting with the foundation of web development would also be a nice thing, because in third year you will have many projects that, and you will need a user interface for that. So web development would be very helpful. Then how was your placement experience for the company you have been placed into? So Aditya, this is a very like a long topic, but I will just suggest that to keep it short. There were around same the structure that I shown you in the PPT. Our first round was there in coding, then the advanced coding round was there. Then there were 2 technical interviews and 1 HR interview. So my first technical interview was all about internship experience and projects, and second technical interview was all about Angular and Python basics. So and live coding of reversing a linked list and binary search tree. So just to keep it short, it's a very long topic, but yeah, that's how it was. And in HR interview, my HR interview was quite long, because generally HR interviews are for around 20 to 30 minutes. Mine was of 45 to 50 minutes, where I was just flexing all the extracurricular activities I have done in college. And HR was like it's just a chill conversation between you and the HR. So yeah, that's how it was. Yeah, I have seen my connections only posting certificates. What else should be posted on LinkedIn? So whenever I answer questions related to LinkedIn GitHub, I feel personally very guilty, because I know what to suggest you to do, but I have not done myself it because of procrastination. So I will keep it short. You should post like the projects you have done, because that will help you to recruiters to reach out to you. If you upload today a certificate related to Google Cloud, so there's a chance a recruiter will approach you for a cloud-based internship. Or else if you upload projects related to your web development, so there's a chance also a recruiter will approach you for web development internship. So you can upload your projects. Then if you are into technical content writing, you if uh, if you want to create like a website, like for your LinkedIn, if you want to what I should suggest. Yeah, so if you have your friends who don't know about GitHub, okay, and you want to make an introduction to GitHub in layman terms, so you can write a post about it, and there's a chance you could go also viral. So that would help you to get more reach. So explaining your terms, explaining the complex terms in simple ways, that could be one of the content idea that you can post, and your projects on the, like, not just the certificates. You should post your projects also. Yeah, that's it. In which technologies are good to go?
So,
Yeah. Siddhant, your questions.
okay, so for the technologies part, so what I'll suggest is, if you are from first year or second year, try out different domains, explore them. Like why I'm saying this is, if you make up your mind in like very initial period, like I only want to do web dev or only mobile development, you won't be able to explore other things which might have got than what you have been doing right now. So for them, I'll suggest is go to the GSoC archive again, and for tech stacks, I, I mean, like every hot tech stack is like being used everywhere. So if you have some basic knowledge, you are good to go. And for Raj, exploring GSoC set is quite confusing. Yes, it is quite confusing and very overwhelming. I personally, it took me roughly around 3 weeks. I went through each and every project. Now look, so you won't have exact projects like, if you are saying web development, there won't be a direct application of web development or machine learning. So you won't find projects with the filter like saying only machine learning. So you need to go in the projects somewhere it is much more application oriented project. So you can take your time, have a look around, and find things which interest you the most. How do we choose organizations to apply? And yeah, same. Yeah, it suggests the same thing. It takes time. Take your time, explore it. So yeah, then you'll be good to go. Ganesh Pawar. Yeah. Also, Ganesh Pawar from third year. He also was a part of Google Summer of Code this year. So shout out to him too. Can you please share some good tips on how to make a good proposal? How did you estimate the timeline for the project? Okay, so for making a good proposal, what I'll suggest is in the idea list. Okay, let me show my proposal. Just a minute. Also, you guys can have a look at this repositories. It has all the proposals that were for this year. So, do you, yes. Okay, so this is what my proposal look like. So what you need to do is have some initially starting with your personal details, who you are, what you are doing, your GitHub, resume, LinkedIn, Twitter. Yeah, that goes about you. So an abstract for the project, like what exactly is the project, what are you intended to do, some technical details. So yeah, what was the question again? No. So for making a good proposal, what I'll suggest is uh, do a ton of research. A lot of research help. So my project was again a research-based project. So I had to browse through a ton of research papers. So you the description given in the idea list is roughly 3 to 4 lines. So you need to build an working idea from yourself. So the only good thing or only good suggestion I can give is do a lot of research, and whether it is a research project or a dev project, research always helps. So also you can what you could do is have sessions with your friends, like brainstorming sessions on discussing a particular idea. Like I need to get these things done. What it does it gets a lot of views from a different perspective. You might have a different view to it. Your friend might have a different view to it. So you can discuss these things. So hello, am I audible correctly, clearly?
Siddhant, you're
Yeah.
audible.
Second year. Technologies again, as I suggested, it all depends on your interest. So I cannot pinpoint any particular tech stack or technology to you again. So yeah, how to contact with organization for getting suggestions and contributions. Okay, so yeah, so when you go to the GSoC archive, there are a couple of links. The first one could be a community link wherein the community discusses like what's going on, how could this be done, this, that be done. The second one is an idea list, and third one is a mailing list. So what you need to do is you basically go to the repository, go to the issues tab. You can directly chat with the maintainer there, or you can take it to the community if you want. So you can discuss things there as well. So if you join the community, a quick introduction would be very nice. So like, hi, I'm Siddhant Jain, I'm from final year, this, that, these are my interests. So this introduces you to the community. So the community also welcomes you warmly. They might hand you a link like Good First Issues or so, where you can start working. And it is very beneficial to be in touch with the organization before GSOC. Why this happens is roughly around March when the organizations are announced. So what happens is there is a lot of crowd coming in. Everyone wants to do GSOC. So to be in the limelight, say limelight. So if you are from the very beginning, so the mentors have an eye like yes, this student or this particular guy has been there since before. So this shows that you are consistent, you are dedicated to that particular organization, and it might help or increase your chances of getting a shortlisting. So is it okay? So yeah, if you guys have any other particular doubts, you can ask them, or you have Discord as well, so no issues with it. Can you please tell again how to join community? uh, Joining a community can depend, like it varies from community to community. uh, you can check the websites for these organizations. You'll find a link to the community or on the GSOC archive as well. If you don't, let me know, I can guide you with it. Srinivas, I think we have a question.
Or DSA. Okay. So this time-based questions always I exactly don't understand why people ask in like how much time we need to do this or how many months we have to do this. It's a what I would suggest is uh, like if I tell you you should do 2 hours of practice daily, but you don't have that amount of time, right? So in that scenario, what you can do is first of all create your timetable, understand what amount of time you have for DSA daily, and on that basis, don't keep it till your like for 1 hour I will do this, for 1 hour I will study, and then for 1 hour problem solving. Don't do like that. You decide that I want to complete this particular topic today, and I want to solve 2 to 3 questions, one easy level and two intermediate level questions for that. And on that basis, you divide it on your topics, not on your hours. So that would be very useful for you. So someday you will sit for 2 to 3 hours, but someday you will be for 30 to 40 minutes only. So, but your topic will be cleared. So not deciding it on your hours, but deciding on topics is very important when it comes to daily practice.
So I think I need to answer it again. Let me just show you. Yeah, so now if you go to this particular website of any organization, you can see a community option here. If you click on this, it will simply guide you like so. It will have you all the mailing list, the matrix, IRC, Slack channel, Jitter channel, and this helps you like this you can straight away go and join the community, discuss things. Or if you say a particular organization circuit was, so here is the link to the ISA channel, contact email, Twitter handle, blog. So yeah, just have a look around and things will be more clear to you. There is no formal process. You can just simply slide in. So don't worry about it.
I wanted to add one point. There will be few of you who are not comfortable on this platform to talk about. So you can connect with me and Siddhant on LinkedIn or else on WhatsApp also. and we can have a one-to-one chat if you want, because I know some of I also, when I was in second year, I was afraid of typing my questions in chat or unmute and ask them. But if you are comfortable with any format of platform, no worries, because if you have that head start and you're like, if you have that knowledge about the experience from your seniors, your like things will be very easier for you. So yeah, that's about it.
Okay, so we are now going to float in the chat. Please fill it so that we can share the resources with you. It gives me an immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of the team to all the dignitaries assembled over here. I would like to thank the session. Thank you so much, Siddhant and Srinivas, for your inspirational thoughts and valuable guidance. Thank you for sparing your valuable time and guiding us to pave a smooth path for our future. I would also take this opportunity to thank our GDSC faculty coordinator, Ganesh Deshmukh sir. Thank you, sir, for your presence and your guidance throughout. And last but not the least, I would like to thank each and every one present over here. Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks for attending.